All right, YouTube fam. So this weekend has been a very interesting weekend. I've been keeping up with Gypsy content, but I also want to show you guys a few things about this TikTok ban. Now, nobody really knows if it's going to happen or not. It went to the Supreme Court, and basically it's up in the air right now. Now, I know a lot of my YouTube followers, subscribers say that, they want TikTok banned or they don't really care whether it's banned. And I understand that, to each its own. But the thing about TikTok for me is I wouldn't even have this YouTube community if it wasn't for TikTok, because when I first started on YouTube, I was having a very hard time, but I was able to use TikTok to build a bigger platform on YouTube, and it's worked out for me. But I've learned a lot on TikTok, just as I've learned a lot on YouTube. But what I want to really express to my YouTube subscribers about TikTok is it's not really about the app itself. It's about the fact that Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, are all lobbying behind senators and Congress to get this ban. And the reason why they're doing it is because they're losing money. In fact, just last week, Mark Zuckerberg started to roll back rules and started saying he was enhancing things in hopes that people would, when they leave TikTok, they would go over to Facebook and Instagram. Now, I know you guys know that one thing I don't like is being bullied and lied to and deceived. The fact that they tried to say that our information is being compromised by China, they're selling our data, they're using it, they're blah, 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 blah. And they've shown that there was no proof of that and it hasn't been done. But that's still been the argument. And what I thought was interesting is one of the attorneys did say, well, if that's really true, why is Shein, Temu, all these other apps that have the same information still around? The only difference is TikTok. People are communicating and getting information out there. What I think some people really don't understand about having an app that is not solely owned by the US, we're able to get information without it being just American bias. And I think that's really important, especially in the current climate that we're in. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, whatever, you should always listen to both sides of the fence, because then you can also always make a good decision. And I feel like most people aren't one way or the other, and they kind of wish there was a party in the middle, but it just doesn't work like that. Anyway, I feel like after watching some things, I've realized that America has always villainized the Chinese. And it kind of makes me sad to see how over the weekend, a lot of people discovered this app called RedNotes. I'm going to clip all these videos in between here, but and RedNotes is a Chinese app, and it's very similar to TikTok, but it's kind of like TikTok, Instagram, and Pinterest all put in one. It's really unique. The interesting part is the algorithm is very similar to TikTok, but the Chinese people have been so welcoming. They've also been very willing to teach us Mandarin, which I think is an amazing thing. In fact, I had my daughter learning Mandarin when she was in private school when she was younger, because I thought it was very important for her to be bilingual. Although ideally, I think Mandarin and probably Spanish would be the best. Just because Mandarin is one of the, or Chinese rather, is one of the most spoken languages in the world, and Spanish as well. So, I've always thought that was important. But one thing I really realized is that we're not that different. And a lot of times we let politics get in the middle of us uniting with the world. And I think that seeing how welcomed we have been on this app RedNote makes it very interesting to me. And it kind of opened up my eyes. I'm going to add several clips in also the briefing of the attorneys going back and forth or whatever with the Supreme Court, and some other things to give you guys kind of an update on what's going on, since a lot of you guys aren't on TikTok. I just think it'll be really cool for you guys to see kind of the progress of what's happening. I'm going to put creators in here and really give you guys a feel for what's happening on TikTok. Just keep an open mind. I'm not expecting anyone to change their mind. I'm not expecting anyone to go get on YouTube TikTok or RedNotes or anything like that. I just want you guys to be aware of why some creators it's important to, and see the big picture and not just from your point of view. Regardless, I love you guys all. You guys all have always supported me. I know TikTok goes away. YouTube is always a home for me, and it has been. You guys have been some of the kindest people. I just appreciate that even you guys know that I'm very limited on time, because I do have 2 kids. In fact, my son is sick today. Oh, you guys are seeing my like junk chair, but my son is sick and he's over here on his iPad. And you know, you guys understand that I have kids and I can't respond to all the comments, or, you know, a lot of times I'm not able to respond to comments, but I try to kind of respond to them in my post. But the fact that you guys know, and despite of that, you're still here. I appreciate you guys. So let's get on with this. And you guys let me know how you feel. If the Supreme Court upholds this and bans TikTok, these next 10 days are going to be the most unhinged stuff you've ever seen on TikTok. When I say folks is finna crash out, baby, I think we will have a lot of fun. This is going to be like the last 10 days of school because we basically all graduating together. I am telling you, this is going to be so unhinged. Y'all have no idea the level of crash outs we finna see. What y'all organizing? Because I'm there. We blacking out all the other apps. YouTube is the only app I'm going to use. It's not affiliated with Mark Zuckerberg. YouTube is not competing with TikTok. They like each other. What are we doing? Because I'm here to watch the crash outs. The way y'all are going to be so unhinged. That's going to be the best part of the crash out.
Little Red Book is bridging cultural barriers in a way and at a pace that is so incredible and unexpected. I just saw a video of a Chinese couple doing a fit check, and the girl had a large afro wig on, and all of the comments from Americans are like, be nice to her, like, you know, it's okay that she has this wig, or it's fine, like, we're colonizing this app, be nice to them. And I feel like that wouldn't happen anywhere else. And even if this app, or if, you know, Little Red Book also gets banned, bearing witness to this cultural exchange is really awesome.
The recommendation algorithm is really just math. So for example, if you liked videos 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I liked videos 1, 2, 3, and 5, maybe he liked videos 1, 2, 3, and 6, then what's going to happen is, because we like 1, 2, 3 at the same time, he's going to be shown 4, 5, 6, and so are we. And you can think about this repeated at scale in real time across more than 1 billion people. AI and machine learning has allowed this to be done at a very, very big scale. It learns the interest signals that people exhibit very quickly and shows you content that's really relevant for you in a very quick way. The other thing here is that we don't actually ask you 20 questions on whether you like a piece of content, you know, what are your interests. We don't do that. We build that experience organically into the app experience. So you are voting with your thumbs, you know, by watching a video, you know, by swiping it, by liking it, by sharing it. You are basically exhibiting interest signals. And what it does mathematically is to take those signals, put it in a formula, and then matches it through pattern recognition. That's basically the idea behind it.
Hello, a big welcome for my refugee friends. Welcome to RedNote. I feel so happy and I'm really touched seeing all you guys here, because I feel the walls built by politicians between us are starting to break down. And this reminds me the quotes carved on Tiananmen Square. The quotes are from our spiritual leader, Chairman Mao, the founder of the country. The quote one is, "Long live the People's Republic of China," and the second one is, "Long live the great unity of people from the world." And the great unity might really happen. Like, this seems like a dream is going to come true, you know? So I feel this is really touching, and can feel it too. Feel free around. Be nice, be kind, and have fun. I'll see you around. One more thing. As my experiences abroad, I don't see too many differences between us, actually. Instead, we have a lot of similarities. For example, we understand the same punchline. We understand the same humor. It's just we need more communications. We need more interactions. You know what I'm talking about as you play around.
小红书
TikTok refugees. This is real. It's really happening, isn't it? I thought this is some kind of joke, but apparently it isn't. It's really happening. I've seen this huge influx of TikTok users signing up Little Red Book and start using it and claiming themselves TikTok refugees. And this is hilarious. Look, whoever came up with this term in the first place has got some real good sense of humor. And why am I recording this? Why am I recording this? I just want to say that you're all welcome here. We love some companies from the other side of the world. And if you are wondering, because I already seen someone asking whether we like to see you guys posting, sharing content of your life, or you should just be a passive user and not really doing much there. The answer is yes. Go ahead. We love you to share things. Leave comments, subscribe, smash on those buttons. Just do what you gotta do. Interact. And it may surprise you that most of us are actually real people. People like to have fun, and people can take jokes just like you. I mean, at the end of the day, we ain't that different. Yeah, about rules. Because some of you were asking about rules already. And yes, there are rules here. The place is pretty chill, but not without rules. But to be honest, I don't know much about it. Because I didn't really have to, if you know what I mean. But I do know one thing though. Things you shouldn't be saying in the state, chances are you shouldn't be saying it here either. You see what I'm trying to say here? So, yeah, just use your common sense. Other than that, knock yourself out. Have fun. Yeah. Oh, one more thing before I go. You know, sometimes you were just trying to have a good day, but you come across those stupid people with their stupid comment and kind of ruin your day. Don't let that happen to you here, because it's going to happen to you if you let it. And since we have a lot more users here than what you have on TikTok, because we're such a populous country, obviously, it's going to happen a lot. But just ignore it. It's part of the deal. And most of us, I said it and I'm gonna say it again, we ain't that different. All right. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Have fun.
小红书
If they actually do go through with banning this app, it's going to be the spark that lights the fire of social unrest in this country, I'm telling you. Because when you have this many people using something every single day, all the time, that has been able to make their lives a little bit better, give them a sense of community, like in this late capitalist hellscape that we all live in, and then you take that shit away, bad things are going to happen. Like, it's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? This country is a tinderbox right now, and the people, they see what's going on, and they're going to be pissed when you pull something away from them that helps them get through their days. And when you take money out of their pockets when they're barely surviving as it is, like, you people are so dumb. You're afraid of this people on this app being radicalized. Like, well, if you do this, it is going to radicalize 170 million users of this app more than anything that China ever could have done. History says that when you do things like this, like, that shit sparks backlash. And people who don't use this app, they're going to laugh about this, but there's 170 million of us on here, and mark my words, like, if they do this, they're going to ignite a social rebellion that we haven't seen in this country in a very long time. Like, again, this is not a right or left issue. This is about the rich, very rich, manipulating our government into trying to control us and strip us all of our constitutional rights. It is an us versus them issue. If they get away with this shit, the freedom of speech in this country, our rights, fucking gone, I'm telling you.
Opening up my Chinese social media today, all the TikTok refugees are already on Red. It was an all Chinese app, but now I have to read English. There is a kid who posted his or her English homework in the comments, and all Americans started to helping him or her. And all refugees on the app have to use Google Translate to understand all the comments. But let me tell you guys, all Chinese people are really nice on the app. And I can see all refugees are building a community already. But if this TikTok ban really happened, you guys can still follow me in Red or in Instagram.
This is for the US government and US government only, all 3 branches and all subsets. You dumb fucking bitch. Look what you've done. You relied so heavily on your xenophobia, your backwards argument, that you have now forced the American people to do exactly what you didn't want them to do, allegedly. The American people are now linking their phone numbers to this app. They're linking their email addresses to this app. And they're doing it at their own free will. They're not letting Meta sell it. They're not letting Instagram sell it. People are willing to learn Mandarin for this app. This is how heavily people are relying on TikTok. And you have failed to recognize that. You can talk all about privacy data. You have conditioned this generation, my generation especially, that our data is not private. You have conditioned us to think that the phone is listening at all times. So what value have you placed on us individually and our data individually? None. My friend and I have this running joke like, oh, I wonder which FBI agent, if you're listening to me, I'm joking.
Let's keep updating our Xiaohongshu tips. And I've already saw a lot of friends come over to Xiaohongshu and say hi to me. And thank you so much. And I've taken some notes about everyone's questions about some topics you can post on Xiaohongshu and the policy of this platform and different platform introduction and how to register Xiaohongshu. And to start, because I have very limited time this morning, so I want to start with introduce you with different platforms of Chinese social media. So the reason I start with this topic is because besides Xiaohongshu, there are so many choices you can do. So first of all, I want to introduce you with Douyin. So basically, this is the Chinese version of TikTok. So basically, they're all the same, and you can find like way more creative, interesting content creators on that platform, because you know that like so many Chinese people post on TikTok those funny DIY videos. They're all Chinese. And secondly is Xiaohongshu. To be honest, compared to TikTok, I would say it's a combination of Pinterest and Instagram. So it's more like an interactive community. So people send more posts or feeds than videos. So you can always see people discussing about something on Xiaohongshu. But people do post videos there. And the third one is Bilibili. So basically, you guys know that I'm now collaborating with Leo, and I just help him to like operate these three platforms, including Bilibili. So Bilibili is more like a Chinese version YouTube. People post like longer videos on that platform. So it's kind of like a video-dominated platform, just like YouTube compared to TikTok. So you can choose like a different platform base according to your own content. And for example, like Bilibili, it also like help you to instantly increase your followers. And you can see Leo, he just like gained 10,000 more followers within one day. And the different platforms, they have different incentive programs, which can help you to get profit through different ways. So Douyin, which has TikTok, you know that there are different like content creation incentive programs. You have followers, you get money. You have views, you get money. And for Xiaohongshu, there are different ways to collaborate. For example, you can do live stream. You can also do sales, pitch different products, different people. You can also do that on Douyin. And on Bilibili, that's more about the video quality. And I'm planning to start a live stream, maybe from US time, morning to afternoon, to try to answer everyone's question as soon as possible. Maybe I will do that on the night too. And I just created a backup Instagram account. So in case TikTok is really banned, so you can find me there and we can communicate there if you need any help to start your Chinese social media business. And you can drop any topics you want me to discuss in comment, and also DM me. I will just try to reply you as soon as possible.
The CEO of TikTok used to be an intern at Facebook. As you all know, the first law of the 48 laws of power is never outshine the master. This man has outshined Mark Zuckerberg in every way imaginable. He's the CEO of the company that's literally the pulse of culture and sets the trend. He's the CEO of the company that every other company is trying to emulate and beat. But there's something even deeper that he has that Mark Zuckerberg will never have, no matter how successful Meta gets. He has the respect and love of the American people.
I just opened my Xiaohongshu application and it's crazy. My For You page is loaded with TikTok refugees. I just want to say welcome to Xiaohongshu. Don't worry if you don't know any Chinese. I believe RedNote is working on the translation feature right now as we speak. Please feel free to follow me on Xiaohongshu.
Thank you all for being so welcoming, but I have a couple of questions. Do you guys have a express package to learning Mandarin? Do you guys offer field trips? What is the package to become fully immersed in RedNotes? At this point, I am looking for a Chinese boyfriend, and I feel as if we are all one. you all have collectively helped us conquer our government. Y'all are epic. Thank you so much for welcoming us with opening arms. We are totally loving you guys, and we appreciate you guys so much. So, to all my new friends, hey, and
Hello guys, this is your Chinese spy speaking. I want to post this video before it's too late. I guess we are not going to see each other again in the future. That's why I have something to say. It is a great honor to spy on you for the last few years. I wish you all have a great life in the future. Now is something personal. Laura from California, you shouldn't drink that much Coca-Cola. It is bad for your health. And also Peter from New York, you mama loves you. You shouldn't treat her like that, okay? And Stephanie from Texas, don't send your nude picture to the guy called Marvin. He's a fuck boy. He's talking to other girls as well. Nice deeds, by the way. I think that's all I have to say. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.
so basically, I've showed you guys what has happened on TikTok and what is basically continuing to happen at this point. And I'm showing you guys this because I think it's really important to know what's going on. Education is key. And with them trying to even kind of control freedom of speech, but also along with freedom of speech, they're basically trying to take out of millions of people's pockets to line their own. And that is my real issue. The fact that you're willing to leave people out here struggling to line your own pockets, but we have voted these people in, really tells you that none of these politicians, it don't matter who, they don't really care. And I think that is something that is important to point out. Now, I think this is very interesting as far as the RedNotes goes. I think it's almost like the Boston Tea Party. Any revolution that has happened, it came from people becoming very upset. And most revolutions don't happen over something major. It's normally over something small because it's comfort. When people come home from a long day of work, or when people come home from things that happen, they just want the things that make them happy in life. It's the comfort. It's the extra things. And when you take those things away, people tend to rebel. And I think that is something that is really, really worth noting. And being able to protest from your home is something very, 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 very different. And I just think it's important for you guys to see this, for you guys to know what's going on, and to be kind of aware, because when you talk about the TikTok ban, a lot of people know it from what they have heard and from the media, but that's not really what's really happening. And there's drama on TikTok like there is everywhere else, but TikTok is a good app. It just may not be your best way of communicating or listening or whatever. But as for someone with ADHD, TikTok in the beginning, especially if I'm not taking my meds, which I do, it was easier for me to digest. It was easier for me to get information because it's fast paced, so it had been very beneficial to me. And it has, as far as even content creating career, it has made a difference. And, you all, each and every one of you have made a difference as well. And I think it's important for you guys to see that. So on behalf on the creators, I felt like it was important to show you guys all this, because you're seeing a lot of us focus more time and energy on YouTube, which I have always tried to focus on both. But I want you guys to see this. And again, I appreciate each and every one of you that even allow me to know, you'll be fine if TikTok is not there. And that's huge. And you have no idea how huge that is. So I want to thank you all for that. But here I'm going to show you guys what was said at the court, and leave your comments down below. I hope you guys have a great day. This is a very interesting clip, so I hope you stay around to watch it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. We will now get started with our press conference. Our first speaker is attorney Noel Francisco, who represented TikTok and our parent company ByteDance this morning before the Supreme Court.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Noel Francisco. I'm a partner at Jones Day, and I'm proud to represent TikTok Incorporated and ByteDance Limited in this important First Amendment case. We thought that the argument went very well. The justices are extremely engaged. They fully understand the importance of this case, not only for the American citizens of this country, but for First Amendment law generally and the rights of everybody. We thought that they vigorously questioned both sides. They put us through our paces, but what really came through is that they understand the importance of this case. We're very hopeful of a favorable decision. I'd just like to emphasize a few points that came up during the argument. First, and perhaps most importantly, TikTok Incorporated is a United States company. It's incorporated in the state of California. It's got thousands of employees based here in the United States. The government does not dispute that it is a bona fide U.S. subsidiary operating in the United States in accordance with all of the applicable principles of American corporate law. Second, ByteDance Limited is a private company. It is a private holding company that is based in the Cayman Islands. It is not owned by China. No arm of the Chinese government has an ownership stake directly or indirectly in TikTok Incorporated or ByteDance. ByteDance, rather, is 58% owned by global institutional investors, including very large American institutional investors like Susquehanna and General Atlantic. It is 21% owned by its employees, many of whom are American employees here in the United States, and it is 21% owned by one of its founders, who is a Chinese national living in Singapore. Third, TikTok Incorporated exercises independent judgment with respect to the algorithm in the United States. The source code for the algorithm is brought into the United States and stored on servers located in Virginia. There, it's converted into executable code, it's modified, it's customized, it's trained, it's moderated pursuant to moderation policies, and it's implemented in the United States. So when TikTok Incorporated implements the recommendation in the United States, that is very much TikTok Incorporated's speech. That is the speech of a U.S. entity speaking in the United States. Fourth, the intellectual property for the algorithm is not owned by the Chinese government. It is owned by ByteDance Limited, which is a global entity, a company that is incorporated in the Cayman Islands and operates through subsidiaries throughout the world. And then my final substantive point is that the United States government concedes that it has no evidence that China has ever attempted to date to control the U.S. TikTok platform. It concedes that China has not attempted to censor content on the platform in the United States. It concedes that China has not attempted to misappropriate user data in the United States. And if China ever asked TikTok or asked TikTok through ByteDance to do any such thing, it would refuse. I think what we heard today in oral arguments, when all of the lawyers were up, were the important First Amendment principles at stake here. We're talking about a social media platform that is regularly used by 170 million Americans. That is half the country. This country has never taken the step of shutting down a speech platform, much less such an important speech platform, because, as the government effectively concedes in its briefs, it's afraid that the content that could come out on that platform might be, dangerous. We don't normally think of speech as dangerous. The Supreme Court has repeatedly said speech is not dangerous. And you don't shut down a speech platform because you're worried about speech being dangerous. That is the whole point of the First Amendment, that we engage ideas with ideas and we let the truth come out. That's the fundamental problem with this act. It doesn't reflect the trust that the First Amendment places in the American people. We are confident that the Supreme Court will place that trust in the American people, and we look forward to a favorable decision out of the court. I'd now like to introduce my colleague and dear friend, Jeff Fisher.
Thank you, Noel. My name is Jeff Fisher. I'm a lawyer at Special Counsel at Melvin and Myers, and I represented the creator petitioners in this case. So I'll start with where Mr. Francisco left off. This is an unprecedented case, and I don't think there's any way to think about it in any other fashion. The government has never threatened to shut down a speech platform in this country because of the ideas expressed on that platform. And so the point of the creators here and their participation in this lawsuit is to absolutely drive that point home and remind the justices and remind the public that this case is at core about Americans speaking to other Americans about everything from everyday life to current events to anything else they care to express themselves on this particular platform about. And that is a most cherished freedom in this country. Another way to think about this is creators expressing themselves in all sorts of ways, whether it be with words or art or music or anything in between, have a right to choose under our First Amendment what publisher is best for them, what editor is best for them. A journalist can publish in a particular magazine because they like the leadership and the owners of that magazine as opposed to someone else. A music band can post their music on a particular platform or play in a particular venue in a particular city because they find that that expresses their art the best. Any number of other permutations that you can imagine. We don't have any decision ever from the United States Supreme Court that has ever restricted the right of a creator, a speaker in this country to express themselves through collaboration with publishers and editors against their own wishes, that they can be overridden in that sense. And it doesn't matter whether we're talking about purely American collaborators or whether our American collaborators have also foreign corporate entities to which they are related as well. Whether it's the BBC, the CBC, or NPR, people can choose to express themselves on whatever platform they wish, free and clear of government interference, particularly when the government's reason for interfering, and I think this is where we take heart from the hearing today, when the government's reason for interfering is we don't like the viewpoint or the content that's going to be expressed through that platform. That is the core First Amendment value that our framers enshrined in the very First Amendment in our Constitution to protect freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom to create, freedom to share, and freedom to learn from other people. That leaves the only other thing the government had to say in court today, which is that this act could somehow be sustained solely because of data security concerns that have been expressed in various ways in various legislator statements. We just don't think that's correct. And so one thing I'd like to emphasize is that whatever data TikTok has from users by way of that relationship, that creator-publisher relationship, is no different from the data that creators would give to Instagram, YouTube, any other platform to express themselves on. There's no difference between the data in one place versus the other. And also, the data that's shared is done so on a voluntary basis. So one of the justices today expressed the concern about paternalism that comes from the government in this case, whether it be to protect us from ideas or to protect us from choices we might make to best express ourselves and share data about ourselves with our publisher. We think that's our choice to make. It's not the government's decision or its right to make that choice for us. So today, and perhaps the main event, is that I have 5 of the creator petitioners here with me today, and I really think it's important for you to hear from them because that's the face of this case, certainly from the American creator perspective, are the people that find TikTok an invaluable resource for self-expression, communication, and exchange of ideas. And so I'm going to introduce them and let them come up, I think, one by one and introduce themselves to you and then be available later. So their names are Chloe Joy Sexton, Topher Townsend, Paul Tran, Stephen King, and Tim Martin. These are 5 of the 8 creator petitioners in this case that were before the court today, and I believe most, if not all, in the courtroom today. So I'll let them come up in whatever order they wish and introduce themselves to you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Paul Tran. I want to first thank the Supreme Court for hearing our argument today. As co-founder of Love and Pebble, a small business built on the foundation of American entrepreneurship, I pray that the Supreme Court of America does what is right in protecting us. This isn't just about our business. It's about our fundamental right that makes our nation great. Our story embodies the American dream. My wife and I built Love and Pebble from the ground up using TikTok to share our passion and connect with people, with Americans all across the country. Something no other platform has allowed us to do. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and when I look at her, I think about the America I want her to inherit. Do we want to teach the next generation that the solution to our challenges is to restrict freedom rather than protect it? Do we want to show them that it is acceptable for the government to decide which platforms Americans can or cannot use to express themselves and build their businesses? The First Amendment isn't a relic of the past. It's a living promise that must be defended in this digital age. By banning TikTok, we're not just removing an app, we're setting a precedent that threatens the very freedoms our country was built upon. Free enterprise, free expression, and the freedom to innovate without unnecessary government intervention. Love and Pebble stands here represents more than just my family's dream. It represents the dreams of countless Americans and entrepreneurs who deserve the right to choose how they reach their customers and share our stories, real American lives. There must be a solution that protects both our national interests and our constitutional rights. My daughter deserves to grow up in a country where entrepreneurship thrives, where speech remains free, and where the government protects rather than restricts our constitutional right. The America I believe in doesn't shut down platforms for communication and commerce. It innovates, it adapts, and it finds solutions that preserve both security and liberty. That's the America I'm fighting for, and that's the America I want my daughter to inherit. So I pray that the Supreme Court hears the voices of myself and the millions of Americans. I pray that they protect our First Amendment right to use a platform of my choice, and I pray that they save TikTok. Thank you. Chloe, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Chloe Joy Sexton, and I'm a plaintiff in this case from Memphis, Tennessee. In 2020, I was fired from my job after telling my employer that I was pregnant. I was also struggling to care for my mother, who I eventually lost to brain cancer. I then began raising my 7-year-old sister. I started creating TikTok videos to financially support my family and as a creative outlet where I discussed everything from parenting and grief to my love of baking. I could never have expected the outpouring of love and support from the community on TikTok. My videos went viral and allowed me to jumpstart my business, Chloe's Giant Cookies. I have now shipped thousands of cookies all over the world and even published a cookbook. As a small business without a lot of capital, I rely almost entirely on TikTok to market my products. To say TikTok changed my life is an understatement. TikTok is the place where people told me I could do so much more with my life than I ever believed. I'm a plaintiff in this lawsuit not just for myself, but for all of the women who, through TikTok, found their dreams and financial independence while taking care of their families and their children. A TikTok ban would place these women, including myself, in true financial jeopardy. It would destroy both my business and the community that means so much to me. No other platform can replace it. I have tried posting the same exact content on other social media apps without anywhere near the same success. I thank the Supreme Court for hearing our argument today, and I hope that the justices will protect my First Amendment right to continue to use the platform of my choice. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Topher Townsend. I'm a plaintiff in this case from Philadelphia, Mississippi. I served in the U.S. Air Force and now run a nonprofit called Stay in Word Ministries, dedicated to promoting knowledge about the Bible. I also work as a hip-hop artist, focusing on topics such as faith and patriotism. So I started creating TikToks back in 2019 as a way to creatively express my political views and to share fun facts about the Bible. I found TikTok to be a much more civil platform for discourse about important issues than other social media apps, allowing me to build a community and exchange ideas. TikTok is also an unparalleled platform for collaborating with other musical artists and promoting my music. My music really took off after I started sharing it on TikTok, even though I've been sharing to other platforms for many years previously. I largely credit TikTok with the fact that my music has been streamed over 100 million times, and I've climbed the Billboard charts multiple times, even achieving a #1 Billboard hit with my song, The Patriot. See, the streams mean income for my family, and the joy of knowing my music is reaching people around the world. See, without TikTok, I will lose an important platform to share my views and engage with others in a way I have not been able to do on other social media sites. And my 2.6 million followers around the world would also lose access to vital content related to faith and current events. As a veteran and American who values free speech, I find it disturbing that the government is closing a form of expression for so many Americans. This ban betrays the values that I sought to protect while serving in the armed forces. I thank the Supreme Court for hearing our argument today, and I hope that the justices will protect my First Amendment right to continue to use the platform of my choice. And last but not least, we are not for sale. Thank you.
If any members of the media would like to speak with any of our creators to set up individual interviews, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for coming.